woman in Phoenix paid $240 across 2 shop visits for a check engine light. Both mechanics plugged in a scan tool, cleared some codes, and sent her home. The light returned both times. What neither mechanic told her is that her Toyota had a built-in reset she could have done herself in her driveway in 10 minutes for free. That is not incompetence. That is a business model. Here are 15 tricks they never mention. 15. The Toyota throttle body reset. Your Toyota feels sluggish off the line. It hesitates when you press the accelerator. The idle bounces between 500 and 1000 RPM like it cannot make up its mind. You have been told you need a throttle body cleaning and a computer relearn at the dealership for $250. Here is what they are not saying. After cleaning or replacing the throttle body, the ECU loses its learn position data. It needs to relearn where closed is and where fully open is. Toyota built this relearn directly into the car. Turn the ignition to the on position without starting the engine. Wait 3 seconds, then press the accelerator pedal to the floor and release it 5 times within 5 seconds. Wait 7 seconds, then press and hold the pedal to the floor for 10 seconds. The check engine light will flash. Release the pedal, wait another 10 seconds with the pedal pressed again, and watch the light pattern. Turn the ignition off and restart the car. The ECU has relearned the throttle position from scratch. The hesitation disappears. The idle stabilizes. The car drives like it was just serviced. Total cost? $0. That fix costs nothing, but the next one will save you from a repair bill that most people pay without question, and it involves a trick so simple it feels almost illegal. 14. The Honda idle relearn procedure. Honda engines are famous for their precision idle control. They are also famous for their idle hunting, the condition where the engine sits in your driveway, wavering between 600 and 1,200 revolutions per minute like it is confused about something. This happens after battery replacement, throttle body cleaning, or ECU resets. Honda programmed a solution directly into every OBD2 era vehicle they built. Make sure the engine is fully warm. Turn off all accessories, air conditioning, rear defogger, everything. Let the car idle in park for at least 3 minutes without touching the throttle. Then turn the AC on and let it idle for another minute. Turn it off. Shift into drive if you have an automatic and let it idle for another 2 minutes. The ECU observes the idle in each condition and programs its closed-loop control parameters around what it learns. After this procedure, the idle drop will be gone. The transition into drive will be smooth, and that subtle roughness at red lights will disappear. Your idle is smooth now. But what about that dashboard full of warning lights that showed up after your last alignment? The next reset clears all of it in under 60 seconds with nothing but your steering wheel. 13. The Nissan steering angle sensor reset. Your Nissan VDC light is on. The stability control warning is lit. The car feels fine to drive, but the dashboard looks like a Christmas display. You went to the shop and were quoted $180 for a sensor reset and calibration. Every Nissan with OBD2 and electronic stability control has a steering angle sensor that occasionally loses its center reference, specifically after wheel alignments, battery disconnections, or suspension work. The sensor does not know where straight ahead is anymore. The reset is simple. With the engine running and the car in park, turn the steering wheel all the way to the left lock. Hold it for 3 seconds, turn it all the way to the right lock. Hold it for 3 seconds, return to center. Drive the car forward in a straight line for about 50 feet and stop. The sensor has recalibrated its center position. The lights extinguish. The system returns to normal. Total cost? $0. The lights are off. The system is recalibrated. But your engine is still stumbling at low speed, and the reason why and the fix will genuinely surprise you. 12. The Mazda idle air volume learning procedure. Mazda engines are tuned with a precision that edges toward obsessive. That same precision makes them sensitive to air volume changes caused by carbon buildup in the intake, throttle body contamination, or component replacement. The result is a rough idle, stumbling acceleration, or a stalling condition at low speed that gets progressively worse. Mazda programmed an idle air volume relearn into every MZR and Skyactiv engine they built. Warm the engine to full operating temperature. Turn off all accessories. Idle the engine at no load for 5 minutes. Then rev the engine to around 3,000 revolutions per minute and hold it for 30 seconds. Release to idle. Do this rev cycle 3 times. After the 3rd cycle, turn off the engine and restart it cold the following morning. The ECU has used the idle period to sample and learn the correct air volume at rest. After the cold start the next morning, the idle will be noticeably smoother, the stumble at light throttle will have reduced significantly, and the car will feel like it received a tune-up. That stumble is gone. Now here is the one that gets people every single time. A glowing light, a filled tire, and a $75 bill that should have cost absolutely nothing. 11. The Toyota TPMS reset without a tool. The tire pressure monitoring light is on. You filled all 4 tires to the correct pressure. The light is still on. The shop wants $75 to reset the TPMS option TPMS system. You are about to pay it. Do not pay it. Toyota's TPMS reset on most models from 2008 onward is a button. It is literally a button. It is typically located under the steering column to the left or in the glove box. On earlier models, sometimes it is labeled TPMS set. Sometimes it is just labeled set. With the engine running, press and hold this button until the TPMS light blinks 3 times slowly. Release the button. Drive the vehicle at 50 miles per hour or above for about 10 minutes. The system will read the new pressure values from all 4 sensors and register them as correct. The light extinguishes itself. $0, 10 minutes on the highway. Now, let us talk about the reminder that has been staring at Honda owners for months. 1 button press away from disappearing forever. 10. The Honda Oil Life Reset. This one is almost embarrassingly simple, but you would be shocked how many Honda owners drive for months with the maintenance reminder light glowing because they assume it requires a scan tool to clear. Honda's maintenance minder is reset entirely through the instrument cluster. Turn the ignition to the on position without starting the engine. Use the select button or trip button to navigate to the oil life display on your instrument cluster. On most models, pressing and holding the reset button or select button for 10 seconds will cause the percentage to blink. Continue holding until it resets to 100%. On newer Hondas, with the multifunction display button, it requires navigating the menu to the oil life screen and selecting reset when prompted. Your maintenance reminder is cleared. No code reader, no technician, no invoice, just the controls that Honda put there for you. Maintenance reminder cleared, but your windows have been misbehaving since your last battery change, and what is causing it is not what you think. 9. The window regulator initialization on Toyota and Lexus. Your power window has started behaving strangely. It goes down fine, but stops halfway on the way up, requiring you to press the button multiple times. Or it reverses direction for no reason, as if it detected an obstruction that does not exist. The auto up function has stopped working entirely. Here is the fix. Close the window fully and hold the button in the up position for 3 additional seconds after it reaches the top. Then lower the window fully and hold the button in the down position for 3 additional seconds after it reaches the bottom. Repeat the full cycle 1 more time. On the 3rd cycle, the module relearns the upper and lower limits of travel. The auto up function returns. The erratic stopping disappears. $0. Windows are back. But if you recently replaced your battery and your transmission suddenly forgot how to shift, what comes next will feel like getting your car back from the dead. 8. The Nissan transmission relearn. After battery replacement, you replace the battery on your Nissan. Now the transmission feels like it is shifting through wet concrete. It is hesitating, it is shifting harshly, and the engine is revving higher than it should before upshifts. The dealership says you need a transmission relearn. Procedure on their diagnostic system. They want $150. The Nissan RE E-Series and Jatco automatic transmissions relearn themselves automatically when driven through a specific pattern. Start the engine cold. Drive gently from a stop, accelerating smoothly to 30 miles per hour without exceeding half throttle. Let the car coast to a stop. Repeat this 5 times, then drive normally, including 1 or 2 moderate acceleration runs to highway speed. Allow the transmission to shift through its full range in each direction. The transmission control module observes each shift event and repopulates its adaptive shift parameters. Within 20 miles of normal driving after this pattern, the transmission will shift with the smoothness it had before the battery was disconnected. Transmission is relearned. Shifts are smooth. Now, about those 2 stability lights that came on overnight without warning and the 30-second fix hiding in plain sight. 7. The Toyota 5 and traction control light reset. The VSC off light and the traction control light are both on. The car was fine yesterday. You did not hit anything. You did not modify anything. The shop wants to charge you for a diagnostic before they will even tell you what is wrong. Before spending $1, try this. Come to a complete stop in a safe location. Turn the steering wheel all the way to the left lock, then all the way to the right lock. Return to center. Turn the engine off, wait 30 seconds, and restart. In many cases, particularly after wheel alignments or suspension work where the wheels were turned at full lock without the car moving, the VSC system simply loses its reference and throws a precautionary alert. The steering cycle gives it a new reference from which to recalibrate. If the lights extinguish after this, the problem was calibration, not hardware. $0. Now here is the one that surprises everyone, because nobody tells you that brand new brake pads can quietly make your stopping distance worse without this next step. 6. The Honda brake pad bedding procedure. This one surprises people because it sounds like something you only do with performance cars on track days. But Honda's brake system, specifically on Accord, Civic, and CR-V models, benefits dramatically from a proper bedding procedure after new brake pads are installed. Without it, the pads never achieve full contact with the rotor surface, and stopping distances can be 10 to 15% longer than designed. From 60 miles per hour, apply firm and steady brake pressure to reduce speed to about 15 miles per hour. Do not come to a complete stop. Release the brakes and allow them to cool for 30 seconds while driving slowly. Repeat this cycle 8 times. You will smell the brakes on the 3rd or 4th cycle. That is normal. That is the pad compound transferring onto the rotor surface uniformly. After the 8th cycle, drive normally and allow the brakes to cool completely before parking. The next time you brake hard, the difference in feel and stopping power is immediate. This procedure costs nothing and takes 15 minutes on a quiet road. Brakes are bedded. Stopping distances are back where they should be. But that wind noise screaming through your Mazda sunroof at highway speed is a calibration issue, not a mechanical one, and fixing it takes 30 seconds. 5. The Mazda sunroof wind deflector recalibration. Mazda panoramic and standard sunroofs can develop an annoying hesitation or a misalignment where the sunroof stops before fully opening or creates wind noise at highway speeds that was not there before. 9 times out of 10, this is not a mechanical failure. It is a lost position calibration in the sunroof motor module. Close the sunroof completely. Press and hold the close button for an additional 5 seconds after it reaches the fully closed position. Then open it fully and hold the open button for 5 seconds after full travel. Repeat the full close and open cycle once more. The motor module relearns its end stops and the hesitation disappears. The wind seal at highway speed returns to factory tightness. Now, here is the one that has Sienna owners paying $800 for a problem that is almost never what the shop says it is. 4. The Toyota Power Sliding Door reset on Sienna models. The sliding door on a Sienna stops mid-travel. It reverses for no reason. The automatic function has stopped working. You press the button on the fob and nothing happens, or it makes a half-hearted attempt and gives up. The service advisor says the door motor is failing. He wants $800 to diagnose and repair it. 60% of the time, the issue is a lost calibration in the sliding door control module, caused by an obstacle detection, a battery event, or a software hiccup. With the door in the fully closed position, press and hold the door open button on the inside for 10 seconds. Allow the door to open fully under power without interrupting it. When it reaches the full open position, allow it to sit for 3 seconds and then press close. Allow it to close completely without interruption. The module relearns the full range of travel. In most cases, normal function returns immediately. Now, $800 stays in your pocket. But if your Honda occasionally refuses to start and the security light is blinking at you, what comes next will change how you think about immobilizers entirely. 3. The Honda immobilizer relearn after key issues. Your Honda starts fine most of the time, but occasionally it cranks without firing and the security light flashes. It starts on the 2nd or 3rd attempt. The dealership says the immobilizer is failing and quotes you $400 for a key programming procedure and possible ECU repair. Before spending anything, try the 10-minute relearn. Insert your key, and turn the ignition to the on position without starting. Leave it in the on position for exactly 10 minutes and 30 seconds. Turn it off. Wait 5 seconds. Repeat the on position. Wait 2 more times for a total of 3 cycles. On the 4th attempt, start the engine normally. This procedure forces the immobilizer control unit to resync with the key transponder signal. In cases where the transponder signal has degraded slightly or the module has drifted in its recognition threshold, this relearn restores reliable communication between the key and the ECU. Many owners report completely resolved starting issues after this procedure. Starting issue resolved. Security system resynced. Now, here is one nobody expects on this list, because the fix for a failing car audio system is sometimes the same fix you would use to reboot a frozen smartphone. 2. The Nissan audio system reset and amplifier relearn. The Bose or standard audio system in your Nissan has started cutting out at high volume, or one speaker has gone silent, or the system is producing a distortion at specific frequencies that makes every song sound like it is being played through a broken telephone. You are being quoted $400 to diagnose and potentially replace the amplifier. Before touching the audio system, try the full system reset. Turn the ignition to the on position without starting the engine. Press and hold the power button and the seek down button simultaneously for 10 seconds. The display will go blank and the system will reboot from its factory initialization state. On Bose-equipped models, add holding the track up button to the sequence on the driver information system if the standard reset does not respond. The audio module resets its internal parameters, its channel balance memory, and its output threshold calibration. In cases where the issue was software-based distortion or a corrupt memory state rather than hardware failure, the audio system returns to full normal function, $0. Audio system restored, not a single wire touched. And now we get to the one that ties everything together. The master reset, the procedure underneath all the others, the one the entire service industry quietly hopes you never learn. 1. The full Japanese ECU memory clear without a scan tool. This is the master reset, the one that underlies everything else on this list. Every Japanese car built after 1996 with OBD2 compliance has a method for clearing the ECU's learn memory without a scan tool. The method varies slightly by manufacturer, but the principle is universal. For Toyota and Lexus, disconnect the negative battery terminal. Press and hold the brake pedal for 30 seconds to drain the capacitors in the ECU power supply circuit. Wait 15 minutes. Reconnect the battery, start the engine, and allow it to idle for 10 minutes without touching the throttle. Then drive the car through a normal mixed cycle, city and highway, for about 20 miles. For Honda and Acura, the procedure adds one step. After reconnecting the battery, locate the small backup fuse for the radio, typically a 7.5 amp fuse in the interior fuse box labeled backup or ECU. Pull it for 60 seconds and reinsert it before starting the engine. This ensures the ECU memory is fully cleared, not just the surface volatile memory. For Nissan and Infiniti, the battery disconnect method works, but Nissan's ECUs retains some adaptive memory in a deeper storage area. After reconnecting, Nissan recommends an additional step. With the engine running and fully warm, turn the AC to maximum, all accessories on, and allow the engine to idle for 5 minutes under full electrical load. This forces the ECU to relearn its idle parameters under the worst-case load condition first, which makes everything else easier to adapt to by comparison. For Mazda, the procedure mirrors Toyota's approach, but Mazda adds a specific requirement on Skyactiv models. After the battery reconnect and idle period, the transmission requires the gentle acceleration pattern described earlier in the transmission relearn section. Skyactiv transmissions are particularly sensitive to adaptive memory loss and benefit from the deliberate relearn drive cycle before normal use. After a full ECU memory clear, several things happen simultaneously. The engine idle stabilizes as the ECU relearns its closed-loop fuel trim parameters. The transmission shift points smooth out as the TCM relearns the adaptive shift pressure values. The VTE or VVT engagement becomes more precise as the valve timing control relearns the oil pressure response curve. The throttle response sharpens as the pedal position sensor relationship to requested torque is re-established from baseline. In short, the car runs better than it has in years. Not because you fixed anything mechanical, but because you cleared decades of accumulated learned compensations that the ECU had been building on top of each other to mask gradual degradation. You gave the computer a clean slate and let it relearn reality as it actually is, not as it remembered it from 3 oil changes ago. Here is the truth that sits underneath all 15 of these procedures. Japanese automotive engineering from the 1990s through the 2010s was built on a philosophy of owner empowerment that the service industry has spent 30 years burying. These manufacturers published service manuals that included every one of these procedures in plain language. The information was never hidden in the engineering sense. It was hidden in the economic sense, buried in 1,000-page documents that nobody reads, locked behind paywalls for professional subscriptions, and never discussed in the simple, direct language that makes it actually usable. You have it now. Use it. And if this saved you money today, kindly like the video and subscribe. Share it with someone who is sitting in a waiting room right now, watching a clock on the wall, waiting for a bill that this information would have prevented. Drive smart. I will see you in the next video.